Hey guys, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into Reminiscing with Shady, episode 41. This is MVP Baseball 2005. MVP Baseball 2005 was developed by EA Canada, published by Electronic Arts in the MVP Baseball series. It was released on PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation Portable, and Windows. It was released for the PlayStation 2 on February 22nd, 2005. There is no other date given. This is probably the most amount of time I have ever logged in a single sports game. MLB 11 is probably reaching very close to this game, and NFL Street is probably very close. But this game, I played this game for a solid 5 years. I got this game in February 2005, and I played it until I purchased MVP Baseball 2010, some 5 years later. So I played this game pretty much for 5 straight years. Part of that is because MVP Baseball 2005 was the final professional MVP Baseball series. MVP 06 was actually a college baseball game. I believe 2K Sports bought some rights, as did Sony's MLB series, and Sony's MLB series has been significantly better than all the other games in any other franchise, really. I really love that series. What you're going to be watching is some gameplay that I have cut out from a particular game played at my home stadium. You'll also see a Ken Griffey Jr. hitting mini game, and then there's going to be what's going to appear to be a random kind of stadium kind of spin around, for lack of a better term. What I like to do in this game, or what I did, I guess, the most, is I would start in owner mode. And what owner mode was is basically you started with no money, a very tiny stadium, and the goal was to make enough money and be able to kind of thrive and grow, and then build a huge mega stadium from virtually scratch, build a team from whatever roster you started with. And I normally would do a fantasy draft because I would like to draft cheap players who I could make more money with, because they would be decent, but I could still make more money. And that was the goal, was to make money and win, and I did a lot of both. Actually, this team here, this is a year 2 team. If I'm maybe a year 3 team, might be a year 3 team because my stadium's finished. And what that is I built a stadium from scratch, and I think we won the championship 2 or 3 times in this. But what I like to do is I would just build random teams, and as I've talked about in several other sports games, is I like to create teams. I like to mix players. I like to make players make different kinds of teams, and it's just, I just like to do different things with players and teams and rosters, and this game was no different. And so I like to kind of start from scratch and build my way up, and kind of just perform, I guess, as best as I could. And some of this gameplay, you'll notice, is a little lackluster. I hadn't played this game in a while when I recorded this several months ago. I have since actually come back to this and finished this franchise out, because you can play for 25 years, and so I just started simming each season and kind of building my team, and then playing some more, and made bunches of money and did all this stuff. And you can actually retire too, which is kind of nice, and so I've done some of that. Manny Ramirez was on the cover of the game. He was quite the player back in the mid-2000s, and then, of course, he had that huge falling out and all of the drug-related stuff that went on, and he has since retired from baseball twice. This game also had an interesting kind of soundtrack. It had Tessie by the Dropkick Murphys, which in my opinion is hands down, bar none, single-handedly the best baseball song ever. If you've never heard of it, I'll try to put a link in the description for Tessie, but it's a baseball song. And there's no other baseball song like it, I think. There is MVP Baseball 2005 held the 98th spot on the Reader's Choice top 100 games ever as of 2006. It has since been dethroned quite a bit on that list. I looked it up. It wasn't even mentioned in the top 500 from a list that I found. What else can I say? There were a lot of mini games in MVP Baseball, which was something that earlier versions did have. I'm pretty sure 2004 and maybe 2003 had it, which I think added another element to this game and kind of helped make it more fun for me. You can go in and you can up your pitcher's stats by partaking in the pitching one, and then there's a hitting one. There's actually two different kinds of hitting, and they're both challenging but rewarding. They're good distractions from normal gameplay, and plus, if you're like me and this is actually how I got my timing back, was I played the hitting one for I don't know, an hour just to get my timing back, and I eventually did, and then it's a good tool and it's fun. Madden had something similar to that about this time of its life cycle, but it has since gotten rid of it and no longer uses that feature, but it was still fun nonetheless. Actually, this game still kind of looks good. It looks a little cartoonish, maybe not quite as realistic, but nonetheless, I still think it looks exceptionally good for being a PlayStation 2 game. If you compare it to even Triple Play 2000 from 5 years before, or MLBs from this time period, MLB 2003, they don't look as good. And this was sort of a kind of a turning point, I think, in graphics. Was right before the PlayStation 3 came out and the Xbox 360 came out in 2006, 2007. This was kind of a turning point, and as you can see here, that you can get some definition in players, and you can get some different motions and movements and animations. That's what the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I wanted to show off this game because this is, like I said, probably the most I've ever actually played a single game. I know that I've played probably more franchises than this, but I wanted to just show this game off and kind of tell my story about it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Reminiscing with Shady. This has been episode number 41, MVP Baseball 2005. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.